Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford. We are local. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting comedian and star of the hit TV show Mike and Molly, Bill Gardell, June 22nd. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com. Across Elliott Bay, holy smokes, what a night out for baseball. Hello again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Mike Blowers. Time now to take a look at Wendy's Now That's Better. And what's better, a lot of batting averages, Mike, over the last couple of weeks for these guys.
Well, the Mariners needed a little better offense. They'd struggled coming out of the gates. But a number of guys, as you can see by that list, have really picked it up, which is good to see. Another reason why they've really turned their things around and have a better record, better homestand, and a better road trip for them. Start off with Dustin Ackley. Ackley is a guy that everybody was hoping would have a breakout year this year, and he had a grand slam in Toronto. But more importantly, he's consistently been getting hits, raising his average over since April 22nd. He's hit .333, so it's a good sign for the Mariners when Ackley is swinging the bat well.
A grand salami off a knuckleball pitcher. And how about this guy, Kyle Seager, Mike? He's so consistent, hit safely in 22 of his last 25 games.
Well, I think that's the biggest key. When you talk about the young players, Kyle Seager, the most consistent. You just read the numbers for him, but he can hit the ball to all fields, showing some power, and he leads the club in RBIs.
And then you have Michael Saunders. So nice to have him back, Mike, in that leadoff spot, especially when he gets on base.
Well, he makes the difference for them. He makes the team go. Some leadoff home runs, but more importantly, when he's on base, he's a threat to steal. Last year, leading the club in stolen bases with 23, second in home runs with 19. Michael Saunders is a tremendous athlete, and we're starting to see why.
So we have baseball tonight from Safeco Field, the opening game of 3 against the Oakland A's. Juan's throwing out the first pitch, and Mike, that's the suit I wore for prom back in 1969. What a night out for baseball, and we'll be back with tonight's first pitch right after this. Well, from Alki Point, oh, what a night to have Mom and Dad and the kids out there this evening. From Alki to downtown Seattle, welcome to Safeco Field, everybody. It's game one of the 3-game series between the Mariners and the Oakland A's. Hisashi Iwakuma for the Mariners, Dan Straley for the A's. And for a look at tonight's starting lineups, here's Mike Blowers.
Thank you, Rick. And for the A's, Bob Melvin leading things off. It'll be John Jaso, the DH tonight, leading off. Former Mariner. Then it's Smith. Lowry. What a job he has done. Great pickup for the Oakland Athletics, hitting 300 on the year. Then it's Cespedes, Moss. See what Moss has done on the road this year. 4th in the American League with a 356 average. Donaldson, Barton, Norris, and Sogard to round out the 9 for the Athletics. Iwakuma, what a year he is having. A 3-1 record, a 1.61 ERA. In 44 2/3, he has 42 strikeouts and only 8 walks. Opponent's average, just 168. Take a look at the T-Mobile defense tonight for the Mariners. Ibanez getting the start in left field. Michael Saunders in center. Michael Morris is in right. And on the infield, Kyle Seager. He plays every day. He is that third. Ryan and Ackley playing up the middle. Justin Smoke is your first baseman tonight. And Jesus Montero, big home run in the game on Sunday against the Pirates to give the Mariners the lead. He will be behind the plate. And Iwakuma's last start, which was on the road against the Blue Jays, he was brilliant. 7 innings pitched, just 5 hits, gave up 1 run. It was earned. 3 walks, which is high for him. 5 strikeouts. He threw 108 pitches, which also was a season high for Iwakuma.
It was nice to see him get himself out of that bases loaded jam in the first inning of that game against Toronto, and he went 7 innings. He's ready to go. Leading things off for the Athletics, former Mariner, John Jaso. He's the DH tonight. And the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball for a strike to Jaso, and we are underway. And, well, that's what this guy throws, a lot of fastballs and a lot of strikes.
He will, and he'll change speeds on his fastball. That first fastball at 89, he will top out at 94 miles an hour. There's the slow curveball. He'll mix that in. Usually he'll throw it early in a count, trying to steal a strike from the hitter, Rick. That slow curveball, 70, 71 miles an hour. A good slider, and, of course, the split. That is his out pitch, the split.
The other thing about Iwakuma, he gets a lot of ground ball outs. There's a ground ball, but it's a base hit into right field. Hit sharply right in between Ackley and Smoke. So Jaso with the leadoff single here in the top half of the first.
He gets a slow breaking ball, just 80 miles an hour. Looks like a little slider, hangs in the middle of the plate. Maybe a split, a hanging split as Jaso hits it hard into right field. Good look in our McDonald Supermo as he squares that pitch up.
And that'll bring up left fielder Seth Smith. Right now the A's having a rough time swinging the bat. They don't hit for much of an average as a team, Mike, but they score a lot of runs. They walk and they hit the ball out of the ballpark.
It's amazing when you look at their numbers overall. They're 12th in average, as you mentioned.
Fly ball right field. Back of the ball is Morse to the warning track, and Michael is there to make the catch. Smith flies out, and back to first base goes Jaso. So 1 on and 1 away.
But they're 12th in average, Rick, but they are first in runs scored. That's unusual. 11th in home runs when you look at them, but they are first in walks and 3rd in on-base percentage. So they get a number of guys on there, and they're an aggressive hitting club.
They find a way to touch home plate. There's the skipper, Bob Melvin.
Another part of their game is stealing. Their 3rd in stolen bases, but Coco Crisp is out. Chris Young is out. So they have a number of guys with speed in their lineup that aren't available to them.
Josh Reddick.
Also on the DL.
Big bat out of the lineup. You're switch hitting shortstop Jed Lowry, and he takes a stride from Iwakuma. And it's 0-1.
When we opened the season in Oakland, Lowry was the guy that impressed me the most. He really swung the bat well, and he hasn't slowed down. Hitting 300 overall, has 3 home runs with 15 RBIs. He's really done a good job for them.
He was with the Astros last year and hit .244 with 16 home runs, so he has some pop in that bat. Line drive, foul down the right field line, skips back up into the crowd, and the count is 0-2 on Lowry, and a fan comes away with a souvenir. He didn't spill a drop. The beer was in the left hand. Wife is happy, and he's got himself a baseball to bring home. Way to go, fella. Just underway. No score here in the top of the first inning. Mariners 2-2 against the A's. They saw Oakland first series of the season, won the first 2 games of that set. Oakland came back to win the next 2. Iwakuma looking for another ground ball right here to Ackley. Ground ball. Ackley has it. Maybe 2 over to second, 1, but no relay to first. Wasn't hit that hard. But they get Jaso at second base. Lowry is safe at first base on a 4-6 fielder's choice, but he got that ground ball.
Well, and as you mentioned, he was out in front of it. Wasn't hit hard. You can see that Ackley came in to shorten up the distance, trying to get to it a little bit quicker, but Brendan Ryan didn't have a chance to finish the double play, so he does the right thing, just eats it. Sometimes shortstops will still try to throw it, Rick, and end up throwing it away, and you're in trouble.
Better off just to hang on to it, which he did. So 1 on, 2 outs. That'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes recently coming off the disabled list, hitting .224 in the year, 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in. And Mike, this guy is mighty, mighty dangerous.
You can see what he did against the Mariners this year. Hasn't hit for an average against them, but he did hit a couple of home runs while we were in Oakland to start the season.
Coming out of Cuba last year, a rookie with the A's. He had .292 last season with 23 home runs and 82 RBIs. Spent some time on the DL in April with a strained left hand. Breaking ball, stride, says home plate umpire Ted Barrett. He's the crew chief.
I think when the Mariners have had success with him, the right-handed pitchers have done that. They've thrown him a lot of breaking balls to slowly work pitches off the plate to get him to chase. And you can see in his last 3 games he has struggled. Occasionally they'll throw the fastball in to show it to him, move him off the plate, and then go right back to the hard slider.
On at first, Lowry. And that's up and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Iwakuma, start number 8, so consistent, has one of the best ERAs since he became a starter going into that rotation, Mike, in the middle part of last year. This is what Cespedes does.
Which is low and out of the zone. That's that slider that I was talking about. He will chase that pitch. If you can get it in that area, you can get him to chase it.
Fastball up and in for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. But that's not a bad pitch because you got to elevate. You got to change his look.
Well, it does. It gives him a different look. You throw the fastball, which is something Iwakuma is as good as anybody. He uses the entire area of the strike zone, and I mean not just trying to hit the corners inside and outside, but he'll get the ball down out of the strike zone. He'll also elevate pitches over the top of it to get some swings.
See if he goes down and away right here. He does, and tapped foul behind home plate, and the count goes to 2-2. And that's exactly what you're talking about, Blow. You know, change your look.
Changes the look, and I think the other thing that he does an excellent job of is hitting his timing, and I think he messes with your timing as well as anybody that we've seen. He just has a real good feel from pitch to pitch what hitters are doing, and that's why he's had a lot of success.
And we'll put hitters away with that good splitter. Lowry on at first base with 2 outs. 2-2. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of the catcher Jesus Montero for strike 3, and that will retire the side. So strikeout number 1 for Hisashi Iwakuma, and we go to the bottom of the first. Heck of a catch right there by the fan. The beer in one hand, he got the souvenir. We go to the bottom of the first. The A's nothing, and the Mariners coming up. No scores. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Michael Saunders will lead things off. Great job in that leadoff spot, Mike. And the lineups, here's Blow.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Chevron. As Rick mentioned, Saunders will lead off. You can see what he's done in May. A .333 average for him with a couple of home runs and 3 for 3 in stolen bases. Then it's Seager, Morales, Morris. Smoke. Ibanez getting to start hitting 6. He will be in left field. Montero, Ackley, and Ryan to round out the 9 for the Mariners. And take a look at Daniel Straley and what he has done. 3 starts, 1-0 record, high ERA at a 5.94, only 16 2/3 for him, Rick, but 21 strikeouts, just 4 walks.
4th start of the season. He delivers a strike on Saunders, 0-1. 190 strikeouts last year in the minor leagues. Led everybody. 21 this year, as Mike mentioned, only the 4 walks, so he throws a heck of a lot of strikes. Saunders takes a strike on the inside corner, and the count is 0-2.
The interesting thing about Straley, Rick, is you look at his numbers, and I was expecting when we were getting our scouting reports that he was going to be 95, 96 miles an hour, but his fastball's 90, 91.
In the air to left field. In toward the corner goes Smith to the warning track. Has some carry to it, and Smith is there to make the catch. Saunders flies out, and there's 1 away.
You look at the rest of the T-Mobile defense for the Athletics. Fine catch by Smith right there. Cespedes, the center fielder. Brandon Moss is in right. And on the infield, Josh Donaldson's done a good job for the Athletics at third base. Lowry and Sogard playing up the middle. Derek Barton called up since we were in Oakland. He will be at first base, and Derek Norris is the catcher tonight for the A's. Straley in his last outing, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned. He did have 3 walks, so 4 walks on the season, 3 of them coming in his last outing.
And now here's Kyle Seager, and Kyle takes a strike on the outside corner. The count 0-1. Seager, his number is .282 average. And this is a guy, Mike, that is going to stay right there and even higher.
Well, I think he will improve on what he did last year. Last year, .259 hitter, led the club in home runs with 20. And I think that with Kyle and his approach, the more that he is up at this level, learning pitchers and scouting reports on himself, he's a guy that makes adjustments quickly, I think. And so I think the expectation should be for his average to be up.
And what you're talking about after that little bit of struggle early in the season, where it was like 0 for 18, to put together a 16-game hitting streak and hit .390.
Yeah, I think he's the guy, though, that when you look at his overall approach at the plate, it's a pretty simple, not much to it approach, and with that, very little can go wrong, Rick. So as long as he's seeing the baseball, I think he has a chance to get some hits. And I think we're going to see him more. I mean, this is a guy that led the minor leagues in hits one year.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, 192 hits at High Desert about 3 years ago. I'm comparing him to John Olerud, but John had a swing like that. It was very, very simple and very good.
Yeah, I mean, and John used the entire field.
Up and away, ball 4. So Seager with a free pass. He's out at first base with 1 out. No score here in the bottom of the first. So that'll bring up designated hitter Kendrys Morales.
Morales has a little bit of a history against Straley.
A good one.
A good one. He is 2 for 5, and both of those hits are home runs off of Straley.
Watch them take batting practice before the ball game tonight. Put on a pretty good show. So strong from both sides of the plate.
He is, and as you look at the numbers against the A's when we were in Oakland to start the season, another hitter that was off a little bit of a slow start, just 1 for 12, has certainly picked it up since then.
3 home runs on the year, 13 runs batted in. And he takes a strike 0-1.
And that's the number that I think as the weather warms up. By the way, it's beautiful here. It's nice to be back home. But we're going to see more power coming out of Morales.
He hasn't hit his stride yet.
No, I don't think he's even come close to it. I've been saying it, that I think he's a guy that can carry this club for a month at a time when he gets hot, especially with Michael Morris standing on deck. He should get some pitches to hit.
For the season, he's hitting .357 with runners in scoring position.
Get him on the count.
Yeah. 0-2 the count on Morales. 56 games against the A's. Mike, 14 home runs, 39 RBIs.
A lot of production.
Swings that bat back and forth like a pendulum. Breaking ball, chopped to the left side and off the glove of Lowry. He was screened by Donaldson, and around to third base goes Kyle Seager. That's going to be a base hit for Kendrys Morales, and the Mariners have runners at the corners at first and third.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Donaldson ran right in front of the shortstop Lowry. As you take a look at this, just a bounder, a little too hopper. And Donaldson, when you're a third baseman, you're taught to try to get everything that you can. And as far as he went, Rick, he would have been better off to reach out and try to grab it right there, because it certainly shielded Lowry, who expected him to try to make the catch. So it threw their timing off, and a good break for the Mariners. They have a first and third situation now with just one out.
That was a breaking ball that was down, so that ball had some top spin as it hit the skin portion of the infield. Here is Michael Morse. Go-ahead run out at third base, and Kyle Seager, only one out. Ground ball back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Here comes Seager on to score. The Mariners have a 1-0 lead. Morse not wasting any time, going right after that first pitch, right back through the middle, and he picks up his 15th RBI this season.
Well, Mariners get a break on a ground ball and take advantage of it. That's what you want to do. And so Michael did a really good job right there. He gets the fastball running in on him, and he fights it back up the middle. So many times you see hitters that roll over on that pitch and end up being a double play ball, but Michael does a good job of fighting off that pitch and hitting it hard up the middle to pick up an RBI and a base hit.
How does he do that?
Well, you have to lead with your hands, Rick. You have to lead with your hands and make sure that you just don't get that top hand rolling over, which sometimes is the case. You'll try to get out in front of a pitch, and that's what it looked like Straley was trying to do. So good hitting by Michael.
And here's Justin Smoak with a chance to do some damage, and he takes a strike from Straley. 0-1. I believe your keys of the game over on the radio side, Mike, were get to this kid early.
And because the A's have lost 4 in a row coming into this. You have Iwakuma on the mound. If you can score early for him, that's a good sign for you. Keep the A's struggling.
In with a fastball at 92 for ball 1, 1 ball. And 1 strike on Smoak. Straley, 6'2", 215 out of Springfield, Oregon. Has thrown 14 pitches, 9 for strikes. And the Mariners have capitalized on the 1-out walk to Kyle Seager. Off-speed pitch and a beauty, and the count is now 1-2. So he's got that along with the fastball and the slider.
That looked like a good changeup, and I think that's a pitch that he'll probably use a little bit more to the left-handed hitters. He likes the slider to the righties.
Morales on at second, Michael Morse on at first base. Straley in a jam. Foul ball, hit hard but foul. And a fan brings his glove out to the ballpark. He comes away with a baseball. Way to go, Dan. Gives it to his son.
It's a good backhand play.
Nice play. Don't forget Mother's Day on Sunday coming up right here at Safeco Field. Bring Mom out to the ballpark. 1-2 on Smoak. Down low, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Mike, what do you do against a guy that you haven't seen? You go over the scouting reports, you see some video, but really it's for real when you step up the home plate.
Well, it's sometimes situations will dictate what you are going to do, but I think really the first time, if you can, you'd like to go up and take some pitches, get a good look at it, see if you can pick the ball up early.
Bounce to the right side and foul at the first base line past Coach Mike Brumley. And the count is still 2-2 on Smoak. Hey, it's college night here at Safeco Field. Good crowd out there in the pen and left center field. Come on by Safeco. The Mariners in town for only the 3-game homestand with these A's. Tomorrow night game time is 6:10 with Brandon Mauer on the mound, and then Joe Saunders will get to start on Sunday afternoon. So make plans to come on by. Don't forget, bring Mom out on Sunday. 2-2 on Smoak. 1 home run on the year. That was a few weeks ago in Houston. Line drive past Barton at first and down the right field line into the corner. Morales riding third. He'll score. Michael Morse to third base. He'll stop there. Justin Smoak in at second with an RBI double. The Mariners now lead Oakland 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning, and Smoak smoked it right on by Barton at first base.
Really a good at bat by Justin Smoak. Saw 3 changeups, 2 of them in a row, and then they come back with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that was up middle in. And Justin stays on top of it, driving it down into the corner. Looked like it was able to jam him just a little bit, but a good at bat for Justin Smoak to fight off some pretty good changeups and eventually get to that fastball.
Eric Barton playing way off that line, and Smoak hit it hard down the right field side. So time is called. Pitching coach Kurt Young out to the mound for the A's to pay Straley a visit. Still only 1 out. 2 runs are in, and the Mariners have runners at first and second. And here is left fielder Raul Ibanez making second and third. Michael Morse out at third. Smoak out at second base.
Simple ground ball by Morales ends up hurting the Athletics and a young pitcher. Overall, the Oakland A's are 12th in fielding.
Now the infield up close for the Athletics. Here's Raul Ibanez. Ground ball to short, up with the ball. Lowry checks the runner Morse at third, and he gets Ibanez at first base. And that is the second out of the inning. 2 on and 2 away with 2 in. For catcher Jesus Montero, and a couple of days ago, Mike, this young man came up with a huge hit, a home run to right center field at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Another home run with Felix Hernandez on the mound, and the Mariners won that game 2-1.
A go-ahead home run late in the game for Felix. Felix again was terrific in that outing, and Montero did a real good job behind the plate catching him. But obviously the home run was the big hit in the game for the Mariners.
Jesus now with 3 home runs on the season, looking for a base hit right here to drive in a couple more. In the dirt, down and away, ball 1.
All 3 of his home runs coming when Felix has been on the mound.
How about that?
Working hard behind the plate, trying to help him out a little bit with some run support.
We had a shot. You guys had a shot of Felix inside that dugout. What a day for Felix a couple of days ago. Another Felix quality start. That's where he goes 8 or more innings, Mike, and gives up 1 or fewer runs. He's had 50 of those in his career.
Yeah, he's something. And in the past, Eric Wedge, he was able to manage his bullpen around Felix's starts, knowing that he was probably going to be able to give those guys some time off. Well, now you have Felix and Iwakuma going at it. Now that Iwakuma is healthy with that finger, the blister that he was having some issues with, now that he's healthy with that, I think those guys may get a couple of days off.
Two and 0 the count on Montero. And that one's in there for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1.
You should see our EQC tracer reckon that pitch right at the bottom of the strike zone. I think Montero thought the pitch was down.
Drive the ball the other way to right center field. A lot of room between Cespedes and Moss. Coco Crisp on the DL. Ground ball down the line, foul. As the count goes to 2-2 on Montero.
I like what Eric Wedge's comments were when you had your conversation with him before the game, Rick, and that was Montero. It wasn't just the home run and the timing. All that was great, but it was the direction of the home run to right center field. Because I think the organization feels that Montero will be a more consistent hitter if he gets back that way, which is the scouting report that we were able to get on him when he first came over here. But at times, I think he wants to hit the home run to get out in front of some pitches and get himself in trouble, especially on the slider that's down and away off the plate.
The 2-2 inside, ball 3, flipped out 3-2. Yeah, a couple of years ago, Mike, when he came over from the Yankees, I think in the month of September 2 years ago with New York, he had like 4 home runs and 2 were to right field. So it was said, right at the get-go, this guy has the ability to drive the ball the other way. Michael Morse does that.
Well, and he showed it. That was no cheap home run that he hit in Pittsburgh.
Mariners trying to keep Straley in trouble. Fouled off the shin guard to the catcher Derek Norris, and the count is still 3-2 on Montero. Rubs a wrinkle into a new baseball from home plate umpire Ted Barrett. The umpires have been in the news the last few days.
That's usually not a good thing, right?
That's not. Want to do your job, be totally unnoticed. That was a controversial ruling between Houston and the Angels.
A lot of pitches here in the first inning for Straley. 26 pitches, 17 of them strikes.
2 on, 2 outs. Fouled away over the screen behind home plate. Still 3-2 on Montero. Well, the Mariners continue to make Straley work. And Mike, in that game on Wednesday, the 2-1 victory in Pittsburgh, they were going up against one of the best in the National League, and A.J. Burnett. They just outlasted Burnett.
Well, when you saw that pitching matchup, I'm sure the guys the night before knew that that was going to be a tough outing. Burnett had been throwing great. A lot of strikeouts for Burnett on the year. And he certainly didn't disappoint. I thought he really pitched well.
Well hit, but pulled foul out of play on the left field side, and it's still 3-2 on Montero.
Felix was just a little bit better, Rick, in that one. But Burnett, from myself, having seen him quite a bit, I thought the command of his fastball was as good as I've seen him throw it. And Dan Wilson and Danny working over on the radio side tonight, we were talking about it, and it's one of those pitches where kind of Greg Maddux, where you throw it at the left-hander and have it run back on the plate. Yeah. And we've seen more of that this year, and I thought Burnett really had that pitch dialed in, made it tough on the guys.
Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch for strike 3, and that will retire the side. Well, the Mariners get a couple here in the bottom of the first, jump out to the lead. We go to the top half of the second. Mariners 2 and the A's nothing. Now, they had a chance to look at the replay. We can go to video replay now to see home run calls, whether they're in and out. And that, I think, clearly shows it hit that railing above the wall in left field. Now, here's a look at it again, Mike.
Now, that railing up there, you can see that railing, and it clearly looked like it hit the railing. And Curtis now is showing us if your TV was smaller, would you be able to see it?
Which Angel Hernandez, the crew chief, had to look at. Now, he had that kind of perspective with a small TV to go inside with 2 other umpires, by the way. And Angel Hernandez ruled that it was not a home run. Brandon Moss will lead off the top half of the second. And takes a look at ball 1 from Hisashi Iwakuma.
What I wonder about that play, Rick, is if it initially had been ruled a home run, would they have, after seeing the replay, would they have come out and changed it to a double, which is what they ended up giving Rosales, was the double. And by the way, there were 2 outs in 19 that would have tied the game up for the Athletics that they eventually lost. I wonder if he would have changed it on that note.
The interesting part for me is that 3 umpires go in to take a look at it. Now, Angel Hernandez was the crew chief for Dana DeMuth, who was on vacation, and he ruled that it did not hit that railing. It hit off the top of the wall, but you get 2 other guys in there.
Well, and the other part about it is It's my understanding that while the umpires were looking, Bob Melvin was able to walk back up to the clubhouse and see the replays too, and so he knew it hit the railing, so he was expecting it to be a home run.
Broken bat liner right to Smoke at first base. The barrel of the batter, part of it, pinwheels out to Justin as well, but Brandon Moss lines out to Smoke. And there's one out for the Athletics here in the second.
And when they come out and they have a replay like that and they make the decision, as a manager, you're not allowed to go out and argue. But Bob, in that instance, because of the time of the game and when it was hit, and knowing because he'd seen it himself, that it clearly was a home run in his mind, and of course hours too after seeing that, he eventually was ejected out of the game.
Rough night for the A's. That was 2 nights ago in Cleveland. Here's third baseman Josh Donaldson swinging, pops it up into shallow right field. Ackley going out. Michael Morse bustling in, and he's there and makes the catch. Morse makes the grab. So 2 outs for the A's here in the second. Mariners with a 2-0 lead.
Well, Dustin did everything right. You go back and get under it and you sit there and hope that you're going to make the catch, but the minute you hear an outfielder call you off, your job is to get out of the way. And sometimes you have to wait. I mean, I'm sure that Dustin does not want to run into Michael Morse out there. Michael's a big man. But so they did everything correct there. Michael called him off.
He does not want to collide with Michael Morse coming in from right field. Here's first baseman Derek Barton. Started the year down at AAA Sacramento. A strike on Barton, 0-1. This is his second game since coming up from AAA. Down at Sacramento, he had 287, 3 home runs, and 21 RBIs. Fly ball, center field. Saunders going back. Michael is there, turns, reaches up. He's got it for the out, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the second here at Safeco Field. Mariners 2, the A's nothing. To arrive at Safeco Field tomorrow at 6:10, and this train has a bartender. That's right, it's a Tom Wilhelmsen train engine, and it's free to the first 20,000 fans when the Mariners take on the A's. To make sure you're all aboard for tomorrow night's train night, pick up your tickets now at mariners.com. Bottom half of the second, a 2-0 Mariner lead. Dustin Ackley will lead things off here in the second. Looks at a strike from Straley. 0-1.
And for Straley, Rick, he threw 29 pitches in the first inning. So a good inning by Iwakuma, making Straley go right back out there again. A 1-2-3 inning for Iwakuma and get Straley, the young pitcher, right back on the mound.
I got Iwakuma for only 8 pitches in that top half of the second. Quick.
He'll make the swing the best because of the amount of strikes that he throws.
Out and in the dirt, and gets on by the catcher Derek Norris for ball 1-1-2 on Ackley. Ackley's numbers for the year, Mike, 239, but back on April 11th, this guy was hitting 091 He's hit safely now in 15 of his last 19 games for an average of .319.
Well, he's decided to use the entire field. It's a position that he wanted to get himself in. And because of that, he's covering the pitch that's away from him. That pitch right there, you can see it trying to run the fastball off the outside corner, and that was giving him some problems early in the season. But over the last few weeks, he's done a much better job of hitting the ball, not only getting his hits, but hitting the ball hard back up the middle the other way.
2-2. And that slider right on the outside corner at the knees, according to Ted Barrett. Strike 3 called. And that is strikeout number 2 for Straley. 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the second. That's a pitch he likes to go to, Mike, with 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think that Dustin has a little bit of a beef here. This pitch looks like it's off the plate away. It is called a strike, and you can see it's also borderline down. Really good job by Derek Norris, the catcher, to steal a strike for his young pitcher.
Dustin not too happy. Here is shortstop Brendan Ryan, hitting just .137. 4 runs batted in. 0-1. Mariners 9-8 at home for the year. Now 7-11 on the road. Trying to get to that 500 mark. They're 16-19 after going 3-2 on the last road trip, winning 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays in Toronto. Skipper Eric Wedge alongside bench coach Robbie Thompson. And they're going to split that 2-game set in Pittsburgh. Fly ball left field. Backing up is Smith. Just a few steps. He's there. And there's 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the second.
Well, Straley's throwing strikes also along with he has 37 pitches now, 25 of them for strikes. But more importantly for the young pitcher, 9 batters faced 8 first pitch strikes, and he's working ahead.
Mariners got to him for those 2 runs on 3 hits. At the bottom of the first inning, took advantage of the 1-out walk to Kyle Seager. And it was good to see the Mariners bunch up some base hits behind that walk.
Well, they took advantage of a defensive misplay by the Athletics. And that was a ground ball by Morales. And so many times, Rick, in the past, we haven't seen that. But now you have a better hitter coming up in Michael Morris. And Morris hits the ball hard back up the middle to pick up the first run for the Mariners. And that's something we've seen over the last 10, 12 games for the Mariners, is them getting those little bitty things, the mistakes of the teammates, they take advantage of them, and that's what you want to do. And they've been doing that consistently over the last 10 games.
Michael with the RBI single back in the first inning. Saunders up there with the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. And it's now 1-2. Michael on Wednesday was 0 for 1. You take a look at the box score, 0 for 1. But he was on 3 times in that game with 3 walks. First time he walked, there was a walk behind him. Then there was a wild pitch, and then another wild pitch, and that's how the Mariners got their first run off of Burnett. Jam shot, little soft liner foul on the third base side, and the count is still 1-2.
And he also stole a base, and he's a perfect 6 for 6. Yeah. He steals, and don't forget he's missed 2 weeks of the season because he was on the DL for 15 days.
That jammed right shoulder he suffered when he slammed into the wall here at Safeco Field in a game against the Houston Astros. First play of the game, Jose Altuve led off with that fly ball deep to right, and he made the catch, fouled away at the plate, and the count is still 1-2. Mariners still have Franklin Gutierrez on the disabled list. Stephen Pryor is on the DL. Talked with him very briefly in the clubhouse this afternoon. So take a look inside that Mariners dugout.
Good luck with Franklin Gutierrez, who did not make the road trip.
Swing and a miss by Saunders for strike 3, and that will retire the side. 3 strikeouts for Dan Straley after 2 innings of play. Mariners 2 and the Athletics nothing. take her out to the Mariners game, the Safeco Field Diamond, plus a beautiful Mariners bracelet. It's free to the first 10,000 ladies 21 and older on Sunday thanks to EQC. So make plans to celebrate at Safeco Field when you get tickets for Mom and the entire family at Mariners.com. Remember Mom on Mother's Day on Sunday afternoon. Catcher Derek Norris will lead off the top half of the third. Mariners leading the A's by a score of 2-0. Rick Riz along with Mike Flowers. Iwakuma's first pitch down on the way, ball one. Filling in for Dave Sims for the series. Dave is back in Philadelphia receiving an award from his high school.
Yeah, he made the drive from Pittsburgh, where we were just at, down to Philadelphia.
Congratulations, David.
He'll meet us in New York. Yeah.
1-1 on Norris. Iwakuma turning 32 years of age a few weeks ago. That was the day that he beat the Texas Rangers and Yu Darvish. Ball 2-1 the count. And before his start on Saturday, that win against Toronto, that was his previous win. That was against the Rangers. Strike called on the outside corner, 2-2. Between then and his last start, Mike, he was 0-1, but had a 1.09 ERA.
Have to get some run support. He can't swing the bats. And obviously his record coming in today, 3-1. He scored some runs, and he has an early lead in this one. So things are looking up for Iwakuma. He certainly has done his job this year. I think it'll be fun to watch him and Felix just go at it all year.
What a 1-2 punch. Like you said, will save innings down to the bullpen. Tom Wilhelmsen, by the way, a couple of days ago was outstanding in that ninth inning against the Pirates, bottom of the ninth, when he took over from Felix. What a battle he had with Andrew McCutchen. 10-pitch at bat. Sliders down and away. Ball 3. Full count on Norris. And he got McCutchen to fly out for the second out of the inning. Next guy, Garrett Jones, gets a base hit, and then he gets the last guy for the final out.
Well, and McCutchen, he's going to be probably in our top 10 as far as players that we're going to see this year. He's a talented young player. Can do a lot of different things. I know a lot of people know him from his speed, but he has some power in his bat also. And I thought it was a great battle by Tom to eventually get him.
10-pitch at bat. Went to 3-2, and McCutchen fouled away. 4 more pitches before Tom got him. There's a look at Tom Wilhelmsen, his line on Wednesday against the Pirates. 1 scoreless inning. And that was his 9th save and his 9th opportunity. He's done a great job as the closer when he took over last year from Brandon League. That role. Fouled away off the glove. The catcher Montero, and the count is still 3-2 on Norris.
Speaking of battles, Norris putting up one right now. His next pitch will be number 9 in this at bat for him. And Iwakuma, the last couple of pitches have been some quality pitches. The last one, you can see in that 8 pitch right on the outside corner. He's barely able to foul it off.
And again the 3-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. So a strikeout for Iwakuma, his second of the ball game.
Well, you think you're going to get a fastball because you work a 3-2 count, but that is not the case. Good hard split at 87 miles an hour. Not able to hold up his swing, so a strikeout for Iwakuma.
Time now for a CenturyLink to What's Next.
Take a look at Jared Parker. Good young pitcher. Has struggled early in the season for the Athletics. He was terrific for him last year. And then Brandon Maurer, another young pitcher. So a couple of young guys going at it tomorrow. Good stuff, both of them.
Game time 6:10 tomorrow night. This is Eric Sogard. Ball 1 the count. A second baseman. Brandon Maurer shaved his little beard on his chin. Brandon Maurer, 22 years of age, will get the start tomorrow night. Fly ball left field, backing up a few paces. Raul Ibanez taps his glove, and he's got it for the second out of the inning. Sogard flies out. 2-0 Mariners lead. That'll bring up John Jaso, the DH, and the leadoff hitter.
It'll be interesting to watch Maurer tomorrow, see how he does, Rick, because finally, after having to play all of those games in April, Eric Wedge is getting a few more off days to move guys around, push him back a little bit, so he's going to get some extra time. And it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that, because that will be the case throughout the year. That's going to happen for him, where he's going to get bumped or even skipped at times. try to keep his innings down.
Yeah, he'll be going on 10 days rest as Jaso takes a look at a strike from Iwakuma. What was impressive about that young man was that he made back-to-back starts against the Texas Rangers. 1 year at home and 1 down in Texas. That's not easy to do, and he came away with a win, his first major league win on April the 14th. 4-3 against the Rangers, going 6 innings.
Iwakuma quickly ahead of Jaso. Jaso with a base hit his first time up. Solid base hit into right field, and look at that, 33 pitches, 23 of them strikes. First pitch strikes to 7 out of the 10 batters that he has faced.
2 strikeouts on the night, and make it 3. A swing and a miss by Jaso, and that will retire the side. And Hisashi Iwakuma has retired the last 9 in a row. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd here at Safeco Field. The Mariners 2 and the A's nothing. Brought to you by BNSF Railway, the engine that connects us. And by Jack in the Box, the Chipotle Chicken Club combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax. 2-0 Mariners lead as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd. Kyle Seager leading things off. Ball 1 the count. First pitch from Straley in the dirt.
Kyle was able to get things started in the first inning. Worked a walk and eventually scored the first run for the Mariners.
Like just watching this kid, and he just keeps getting better and better. A strike on the inside corner. The count is even at 1-1. You know, we talked about his offense, and rightly so, but he's been so impressive defensively at third base, a position he really didn't play until they said go play third.
Yeah, played second base and they moved him over to third. And I would agree with you, Rick. I think he's an underrated defensive player, but that's starting to change. People are taking notice of what he can do in the field. And he's just a good all-around solid player.
Works at it. It's not easy. I mean, you were over there for how many years at third base?
Yeah, you have to.
Doesn't come easy.
No, you have to work at it.
The guy I used to love to watch was Adrian Beltre at spring training. A soft liner off the end of the bat. In the dirt, backhand try by Lowry, but it ricochets off his glove. He can't find it. It went off to his left. Lowry having a rough time over there at shortstop.
Well, I'll give him a little bit of a break. There was a lot of English on this, Rick. It was cued right off of the end of the bat. Hits it right off the cup of that bat. So the ball is really spinning sideways.
And down.
Yeah, and he thought it was going to carry to him, but it was dying quickly. And that little bit of a spin on it as it hits the dirt gives him a funny little hop, and he's not able to handle it. So Kyle Seager reaches base for the second time tonight.
Lowry looked off to his right. The ball bounced off to his left. So Seager on at first base.
They give him a base hit.
It is a base hit for Kyle Seager. Mariners' 4th hit tonight. But that was cued right off the end of the bat over to first base by Straley, and back in time is Seager. And here's Kendrys Morales. That was a cue shot.
The cup on the bat. Most of the guys have it. I'm sure there was a big cut in the side of that ball too. Usually it'll rip the leather.
Dial gets there 64% of the time, and steal attempts in on Morales. Ball one. Like the weather warming up, I think this guy is just ready to take off. He has 3 home runs on the year. Number 4, I don't think, can be too far behind.
No, and I think that's fair. I think one, the weather obviously is going to help, but I think the other thing is he has, being a switch hitter, he has power to all fields. He doesn't have to pull the ball to hit home runs, and so when he starts squaring it up a little more consistently, that's when we're going to see that power show up, which will be a nice combination for the Mariners, having him hit third and Morris hitting fourth for cleanup hitter. Morris already with 9 home runs on the year.
And I think we're going to see the new dimensions out there in left center field really come into play a little bit more. Left center field on the run, Smith and Cespedes. It is going to be Smith who makes the catch near the warning track. Gets a throw to second base. Morales flies out.
Good base running by Kyle Seager. That ball was hit out towards the gap. Kyle not sure if he was going to catch it. Kyle ended up running all the way past the bag at second base, then waited to see what was going to happen. Once it was caught, you have to go back and touch the bag again, which Kyle did, so he's in good shape. No problem there. But I thought it was good base running by Kyle. So many times you see runners, they go about halfway, kind of wait. But Kyle just keeps going, keeps going. He knows as deep as this is, he can go and get back, and you can see him retrace his steps, touch the bag, and then head back to first.
There's first base coach Mike Grumley. Come on back. You're okay.
And the reason why you do that, Rick, is because if the ball is dropped, if he doesn't make the catch, you have a chance to score. As opposed to just going halfway and waiting, and then you end up at third, which isn't a terrible thing, but you should have probably scored on that play.
Always looking to take that extra base. 1 on, 1 away, 2-0 Mariners. And here is Michael Morse, who drove in the first of 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, his 15th RBI this year. Ball 1. Friday night, so the Mariners wearing their teal green tops and the white pants. Nice to be home, even though it's for only 3 games. When it's on the road on Monday, the Mariners will take off for New York, Cleveland, and Anaheim. Over to first, and Seager back to the bag.
Another tough part of the schedule, Rick, in May. We were talking about April, now May. They spend a lot of the time on the road. I know you spent half your day yesterday getting all your laundry done, right? You didn't like to mess around, get that squared away.
Had to do laundry, get it to the dry cleaners, and then hopefully pick it up and ready tomorrow.
I think the tough part, though, is is the time change. They're coming from the East Coast. They come back to Seattle. Now they go right back to the East Coast again to New York on Monday.
Right.
So that's tough on the body.
You start to get acclimated, and now, boom, you turn around and have to go back to the East Coast. And hopefully my laundry will come with me.
You'll make it. You'll be all right.
No, it'll be fine. Nice to have an off day
at home.
Yesterday at home to get things done. Check swing. Did he go the appeal? He did not. It's his first base umpire, Alfonso Marquez. And it's 2-1 on Morris.
It's been a fairly consistent pattern that opposing pitchers have tried to work against Morris. It's been fastballs, usually wasting him inside and then throwing the sliders and curveballs away from him. Typically, if he sees a fastball, though, it's going to be in off of the plate. There's that breaking ball. Right after the fastball in, they go back to the slider.
And Michael went, so the count is even at 2-2. 9 home runs on the year that ties him for third in the American League. 2 years ago, he had 31 with the Washington Nationals. He had 22 last year.
And he was hurt.
Yeah, played in only 102 games. Big time power from Michael Morris. Mark Reynolds of Cleveland leads the league in home runs with 11. Chris Davis of Baltimore 10. And Encarnacion with 10 with Toronto. Check swing, slider down and away. Again, did he go on the appeal? Marquez says no, he didn't. Ball 3. And it's a full count.
Take a look at the check swing by Michael Morris. Another slider in the dirt. I like what We're getting on the umpires a little bit because of some calls this week, but I like what Ted Barrett did right there. Right away, he didn't wait for the catcher to ask, the pitcher to ask. He asked for help right away. Let the players know what's going on. Couple of appeals. I never understood what the harm is in that. None. To ask.
There goes the runner. Swing and a foul back and out of play by Morse, and the count is still 3-2, and Seager took off for the pitch.
So many times we see games, Rick, and those check swings, when we see it live, as you take a look at Ted Barrett, this pitch in the dirt, there you see Michael with the check swing, and then Barrett right away asks if it was a swing. I mean, that's the way you want to do it, give the players a chance to make the play or what they have to do on that. But I think that, you know, so many times we see it, and to look at it live, it's so difficult to tell. I think these guys are so strong, and that barrel comes down and through there. When they stop it, it happens so fast. And we, of course, have the luxury of the replay up here, and we watch it. You know, we can watch it 2 or 3 times. They have to make decisions right away, and I think asking for help is a good idea. It's just so tough to try to make that call on your own.
And that's great teamwork by the umpiring crew. Runner goes again. Seager, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3. No throw down to second base. A stolen base for Kyle Seager. His first stolen base of the year as Morse goes down swinging. 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom half for the 3rd. Mike, here's a look at what you're talking about on that check swing. First of all, in real time.
Yeah, take a look, and you know you have to make a decision, and we still have an advantage just because of the angle. But you can see how quickly that bat gets out there, and they snap it back so fast, and you have to ask right away. And then if you're in his angle behind home plate, trying to judge how far it went, it's even tougher.
Seager on at second with 2 outs. Mariners trying to add to that 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. Justin Smoak. A strike, 0-1.
For Justin, he's been starting to get his hits, Rick. That average slowly coming up. You can see up to 243 now. Just 1 home run on the year. And sometimes a game like this where you go up there, you battle your first at bat, you come up with a double down the line, you drive in a couple runs, get some confidence going right away, kind of slow the game down a little bit. Maybe hit the ball hard 2 or 3 times.
He hit the ball hard right past Derek Barton at first base. Playing a little off that line. The double by Smoak getting down that right field line. Now that scored Morales with the Mariners' 2nd run at the bottom of the 1st. Chance to add on. In the dirt with that slider. Knocking it down is Norris. Ball 2. 2-1 on Smoak.
Perfect night for baseball, Rick. Temperatures are nice. Not much of a breeze at all. I think the ball will carry tonight if you hit it.
Justin looking for his 2nd home run of the season. Right now just looking for a base hit into the gap. Nice crowd here at Safeco Field to welcome the Mariners back home for the short homestand. Tonight is college night. A lot of young folks out there in the pen and left center field. The 2-1. And that changeup sails away. Ball 3, 3-1. And right now Smoak is in the driver's seat, Mike.
Well, he has the first base open, and I don't think that Straley will give in to him. At one point in his last at bat, he saw 3 changeups, eventually getting the fastball that he hit hard. Well, Labonte is waiting on deck.
Out of play behind the plate off to our left, and a fan in the suite level almost came up with a catch. Full count, 3-2 on Smoak. That vantage point looking down the left field line out towards Edgar's Cantina. Great vantage point there for the fans. Some great food. You are right behind that left field wall. 1 on, 2 outs. Time called as Smoak backs away from home plate. Justin working on that bubble gum. I still love that bazooka bubble gum.
Wow. I like it.
Still a favorite. Good stuff. Australia turnaround.
You usually walk out of the dugout with a pocket full of it, don't you?
No. Dan Straley, 24th round pick by the A's in June of 2009. Justin Smoak, 1st round pick by Texas. in the dirt. Knocking it down. Norris, ball 4. So Justin with a walk, and the Mariners have 2 on with 2 outs. Say, friends, ride with all your fans on South Transit and enjoy freedom from traffic and parking to plan your next trip. Visit soundtransit.org. Look at the fans out there. The left center field landing out there in the pen. College night here at Safeco Field. And there is Isaiah Thomas from the University of Washington enjoying the ball game tonight. Now a guard with the Sacramento Kings. 2 on and 2 away. And here's left fielder Raul Ibanez. Ibanez 0 for 1 has bounced out to Lowry at short. Coming out this afternoon for some early batting practice. I love the story that Larry Stone wrote in today's Seattle Times about the journey, part of the journey for Ibanez. Not always, you're going to be swinging the bat well. Inside for ball 1-1-1. But he said, I love it, the times when I struggle, because I know that I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to really enjoy it when I do. I mean, there's going to be some times where things don't go well.
You play in this league long enough, you're going to struggle quite a bit. Take a look at Dave Hansen, the hitting coach.
Well hit to right field. Moss going back to the track, to the wall. Goodbye baseball. Raul Ibanez with a 3-run home run here in the bottom of the 3rd, his 3rd home run of the season. And it's now the Mariners 5 and the A's nothing, and that's one way to get it going in the right direction. What a big hit for Raul Ibanez, number 3.
Well, you mentioned it, hard work, Rick. He had a big pinch hit double on the road in Pittsburgh where he drove in a run to get the Mariners within a run, and this is a changeup. He's out in front of it, but able to keep his hands back just long enough. Yeah, he's a strong man. He gets it on the barrel and hits it into the seats.
A 5-0 Mariner lead here in the bottom of the 3rd after that 3-run drive by Ibanez. And here's Montero, and Jesus takes a look at Steve Reich 1. Man, that's got to feel good for Raul Ibanez.
The Mariners 3 for 5 now, Rick, with runners in scoring position.
And it comes with 2 outs. I said in the article, don't get me wrong, I'm not crazy about struggling, but if you take a look at what I've gone through over the last few weeks, if it happens in the middle part of the season, you don't really notice it. Ground ball toward the hole at short, backhanded by Lowry. The long throw to first, and it's in time to get Montero, and that will end the inning. But Raul Ibanez with a 3-run home run to right field, and after 3 innings of play, it's the Mariners 5 and the A's nothing. As we go to the top half of the fourth inning. Time now for our AT&T trivia question, and here it is. Who hit the most career inside the park home runs? Was it Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, or Willie Mays? Text A, B, C, or D to 733-733. Who hit the most career inside the park home runs? How about it, Mike? What do you think?
I'll go with the speed. I'll go with Willie Mays.
You know what? Curtis threw Babe Ruth in there.
That's good thinking. I like it, Ricky. You haven't been over here, and I know exactly where you're going, and I think that's pretty good.
I'm going with the Bambino.
I like that.
I mean, he was a big guy,
right?
But he could move those spindly legs, and get going. Yeah, just for the heck of it, I'm going to go with Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Seth Smith leading off the top half of the fourth with a strike from Iwakuma. Smith 0 for 1 tonight is flied out to Michael Morris in right field. Man, those are great choices. Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron. Out of play on the third base side. 0-2 the count on Smith. Rick Riz, along with Mike Blowers and our associate director up here in the booth, Robbie Nielsen, the best in the business. Chris on our stat sheet, Bubba the sound guy. It takes a village, folks.
That's right.
I'll show you these wonderful pictures. They do a great job. Curtis Wilson, Mark Engelbrecht, proud father of Max, who's doing a great job as the closer down at Oregon State. Way to go, Max Engelbrecht. Well, right now the fans are agreeing with Willie Mays. 72% for Willie. Ground ball right side. Ackley sliding stop to his left. Knocks it down, recovers, and gets the throw to Smoke in time to get Seth Smith. Nice play by Dustin. One out for the A's here in the top half of the fourth.
Good job of staying with the play. Dustin going down, and it looked like he was going to catch it cleanly, but didn't panic. Take another look at our McDonald Supermo. That hit him in the heel of the glove a little bit, and then
hit the knee.
Yeah, but he stayed with it.
Nice job by Dustin. One out for Oakland. 5-0 Mariners. Jed Lowry. And another first pitch strike, Mike. Iwakuma machine.
Well, it's one of the things we were talking about. Felix earlier going deep into the games, giving the bullpen a rest. Iwakuma, he certainly can do that too. And the biggest reason why is he's so efficient with his pitches. Right? Yeah. He works ahead of hitters, throws a lot of strikes. Quality strikes at that. But he's working here with one out in the fourth inning. He's only thrown 40 pitches, 30 of them for strikes in the game.
How about that? Let's see, 3, 6, 8, 9, 10 in a row retired by Iwakuma. Sends the leadoff single to right field by John Jaso to start the game. Splitter down and away, ball one. Got a question for you, Mike. Who has the best pitch? Iwakuma's splitter or Bo Blower's knuckleball?
It's a tough one. Similar action with both of them.
Oh yeah.
Similar action with both of them.
I'll give you some time to think about it because I've heard so much about Bo Blower's knuckleball.
Well, he supposed his knuckler is a lot like Felix's changeup.
That's a great movement.
A little bit firm,
Robbie, what do you think? Bo's knuckleball and Iwakuma's splitter. I'm going with ground ball to the shortstop, Brendan Ryan, near the back scoops, and he gets Lowry at first. So 2 up and 2 down for the A's in the fourth inning.
Now you can see Iwakuma really settling in, Ricky. He's starting to get some ground ball outs early on with some strikeouts and a lot of fly ball outs, but now he's starting to get it on the ground, which I think means he's going to get some quicker outs because of that.
Brings up the center fielder, Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. He's hurting right now with a number of key players on the DL, including one of their starting pitchers, Brent Anderson. You got Coco Crisp on the DL. Chris Young. Broken bat fly ball, shallow center field. Ackley out, Saunders. The Condor flies in, and Michael Saunders makes the catch for out number 3. 12 in a row retired by Hisashi Iwakuma. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Mariners 5 and the A's nothing. A score of 5-0. Hisashi Iwakuma, my goodness, he's been outstanding again tonight. Has retired 12 in a row. Leading things off, Dustin Ackley, ground ball in the hole, it's short, and a nice play by Jed Lowrie. One away for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the fourth.
And that is not an easy play with Ackley running down the line. That's why Lowrie decided not to set his feet. He just get rid of it quickly. Typically, if Dustin hits the ball over there on the ground, he's going to get a base hit more times than not. So good play by Lowrie to take a hit away from Ackley.
Real nice play. He's been busy tonight for the A's. Here is shortstop Brendan Ryan. But Brendan 0 for 1 has flied out to Smith in left field. 0-1. Mariners over the last 12 games have gone 8-4. Following that road trip a few outings ago, in which they were 1-5 at Texas and Houston. So they got things turned around, Mike.
Well, they have, and it just goes to show you, Rick. I think we would both agree that they're going to play great defense this year. And when you have Felix and the job that Iwakuma has done, and the other starters starting to get things turned around, they have a really good bullpen out there. Just a little bit more run support is what they've been able to get. I don't think there's much of a
ground ball right at Donaldson at third. His toss across in time to get Ryan for the second out of the inning.
I don't think it's a coincidence that things have turned around for them offensively because of the guy that's walking to the plate right now, and that's Michael Saunders. Since he's come off the DL, it's just kind of just changed everything. I think he takes pressure off of him. If you take a look, 73 pitches for Straley, 48 strikes, but I think he has taken a lot of pressure off him. It goes back to what you were talking about with that game in Pittsburgh. The fact that he was 0 for 1, but he was on base 3 times, stole a base, and scored on a wild pitch. He just makes things happen for him. And I think he brings an edge to their club, too, when he plays.
I was talking with Mike Brumley before the ball game about Saunders. And Saunders, in today's Seattle Times, gave Mike Brumley a lot of credit. He works with the base runners.
Right.
And there's a look at Mike. But he, like you said, he's hunting for pitches that are down or appear to be in the dirt, and is able to take that extra base. Little bouncer out to the second baseman, Sogard. He gets Saunders at first, and that will end the inning. And we go to the top half of the fifth on a beautiful night here in Seattle. Mariners 5 and the A's nothing.
to Raul Ibanez, a 3-run home run tonight. Raul with 3 home runs this season, all at Safeco Field, where he has hit 69 in his career. Nobody has hit more than that. Hey, let's take a look at our lows and never stop improving. We head down to Clinton, where Patrick Kivlahan has a 12-game hitting streak. He's hitting .431 during that stretch with 6 multi-hit games. Let's send it back to Rick and Mike.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Top half of the 5th inning with a 5-0 lead. The Mariners over the A's, leading things off Brandon Moss with ball 1 from Iwakuma. Fastball down and in, ball 2-2. I know the count. A lot of strikeouts with that fastball, Mike. He's 90-91 with his fastball.
Location.
Yeah, there's a lot of strikeouts with it.
Especially the left-handers. He will throw that pitch in off of the plate and run it back on the inside corner. And you have to throw it with a lot of conviction, a lot of confidence. There's a good split.
2-1.
By the way, I thought Tom Glasgow did an excellent job of hitting all 7 U's in Raul. Right?
I like that. Raul.
I like it when he hits 3-run home runs.
I think I just did 9 U's.
Yeah, you did.
Ball 3, 3-1 on Moss. There he is, Raul Ibanez. There it is. Here is what's trending right now. Raul and Iwakuma with the job he's doing tonight on the mound. Ground ball out to Ackley at second base. Scoops, throws, and 1 out. Another ground ball out, and that is 13 in a row set down by Hisashi Iwakuma. The machine.
I like it.
You know, it's just workmanlike, just goes right after the hitters.
You just make that up?
It just popped into my little
I like it. I like the machine.
The machine.
I like it.
One thing I noticed.
He has been.
He has been. Here's Josh Donaldson. It seems like to me, Mike, he's also working a lot quicker this year.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. Occasionally, and it's been the case, you mentioned it the other day when he was in Toronto and the bases were loaded in the first inning and he had to work his way out of it. He slowed down a little bit right there. I mean, I think it's just a matter of he knew he couldn't make a mistake and he wanted to make the pitches.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think he's really picked it up.
1-1 the count on Donaldson.
Take a look at the pitches per inning for him this year. He and Felix. Wow. Felix at 13.9, so right around 14, and Iwakuma the same. So first and second in the league. What is that? I believe that's efficient, isn't it?
Very. That's what I was just going to say. Very efficient. And what it does, Mike, is what you alluded to earlier, is that it gets you deep into a ball game.
Right.
Avoid those 20 pitch innings. Get a chance to work the 7th, 8th, 9th.
Well, and that's especially true in today's game, because I think in today's game it's so much more difficult to work deep into games because of pitch counts, Rick. Yeah. They try to keep these guys down, you know, around 100 to 110. And I think on this staff, Felix is the guy that Eric Wedge typically, if he's going to let somebody go, it'll be Felix to get upwards of that 125 mark. But that's hard to do.
It is. And the Mariners have 1 complete game on the season, and that was Joe Saunders. He was outstanding in that complete game effort, an 8-3 win on the last homestand against his former ball club, the Orioles. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Iwakuma, and 2 outs for the A's. Here in the top of the 5th inning, 14 in a row retired by Hisashi.
We'll take a look at what he decides to go with right here, and that's the slider. Slider at 81 miles an hour on the outside corner.
And that's a slider, Mike, that gets some depth to it, too, when it gets up the home plate.
The key to it all is to get him to swing at it like that, Rick. You have to be able to start the pitch when it comes out of your hand and have it look like it's going to be in the strike zone. And I think that's what makes his split so effective. See that good fastball right there and his slider.
And the fastball, when you watch it, especially from that angle, it looks like he has some life when he gets up the home plate.
Well, it's because he changes speeds. He throws so many different variations of his pitches at different speeds that when he pops 91 in there, it looks like it's 94, 95 to you as a hitter. And here you go again, quickly ahead, 0-2.
Gets that little breaking ball in there. Will it be 15 in a row? Retired by Iwakuma. 4 strikeouts for the night. And it's strikeout number 5, and it is 15 in a row retired by Hisashi Iwakuma. Halfway point, we go to the bottom of the fifth. Mariners 5 and the A's nothing. Say, friends, it's a giveaway. Your kids will flip their lids over literally. This Sunday, it's Kids Camp Day when the Mariners take on the A's. Game time 1:10. All youngsters 14 and under will take home this cool cap thanks to Aquafina. Get tickets for the entire family at any Mariners team store or online at mariners.com. Beautiful sunset over Elliott Bay. There's a landmark in downtown Seattle, the Smith Tower. That used to be the tallest building west of the Mississippi way back when. 5-0 Mariners lead the A's. Bottom of the fifth inning, leading off the inning, Kyle Seager.
Kyle has been on base twice and scored twice, Rick. So keep the scoring going and have Kyle find a way to reach first.
Walked, scored in the first, singled, stole second, scored again in the third, and he takes ball 2 to another count on Straley. Heard so much about this kid at spring training, Mike, after what he did last year. 190 strikeouts, led all the minor leagues in strikeouts. All 3-0 on Seager. Mariners farm system last year was rated number 2 by Baseball America. A strike on Kyle, 3-1. Just 2 years ago, the Mariners had 18 rookies on this ball club. 12 made their major league debuts 2 years ago. Ball 4. So Seager walks for the second time. And that is walk number 3 given up by Straley. Let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Mike, the Mariners on the road, travel on Monday.
Yeah, short series here at home against the A's, and they back to the East Coast where they're going to be in New York, stop into Cleveland. I believe they finish up in Anaheim.
4 games in Cleveland. Yeah, 10-game road trip coming up, so a short stay here in Seattle and right back on the road. Kendrys Morales takes up and in, ball 1.
Morales 1 for 2, scored a run, had a base hit in the first inning, and flew out to left field.
And time is called.
Pitcher coach Kurt Young making a trip out to the mound. And it looks like somebody's just starting to warm up out in the pen for the A's, so buying a little bit of time for Ressett.
Activity down to the bullpen for Oakland as Straley's pitch count is getting up there to 81 with 1 out and nobody out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Oakland was a young ball club last year, and they surprised everybody and ended up winning the American League West on the final day of the regular season. The Texas Rangers had a 5-game lead with 9 left to play. And Oakland surpassed them on the final day. They swept the 3-game series against Texas in Oakland, and a drive deep into the gap in right center field. Cespedes on the run, and this one is off the base of the wall. Seager running third, heading home. The relay to the plate, offline, way up the line. Gets on by Norris, the catcher. Seager scores on a double by Kendrys Morales, and the Mariners lead the A's 6-0.
We'll take a look at the swing by Morales. He gets a fastball in the middle of the plate and hits it out into right center field. A good read by Kyle Seager, who took off right away. Watch Kyle, sees the ball get hit, has a look at where Cespedes is, realizes he can't get to it. Kyle running, now a pick up his third base coach and scores his 3rd run of the ballgame. Kyle, 2 walks and a single, and has scored 3 runs tonight.
Didn't want to lose his helmet, had to pat it down on his way home, so he brings home run number 6. 6-0 Mariners lead. The RBI double by Morales. Still nobody out, and here's Michael Morse. Inside, ball 1. 6 runs on 6 base hits. They have capitalized on 3 walks, and Mike, all 3 have come around to score.
2 of those walks going to Kyle Seager. The other one to Justin Smoak in his last at bat. Justin on deck, but he walked and scored.
Ground ball to third, backhanded by Donaldson, and 1 away. Wide throw taken by Barton, puts the tag on Morse in front of the bag. 1 on, 1 away, 1 run in. So the Mariners just keeping the pressure on Dan Straily.
I think they have to continue to get runners in scoring position. He did have a clean 4th inning, but the Mariners have come right back to score a run here in the 5th.
Here's Justin Smoak, and an RBI double back in the 1st, and he's walked and scored a run in the 3rd. He was on board when Raul Ibanez hit his 3-run home run. Popped up left field, over toward the line. On the move is Smith, and Seth is there to make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Morales back to second base. Fans a chance to get a cold beverage here at Safeco Field, seated right behind home plate. What a night out for baseball. Glad you could tune in for tonight's opening game of this 3-game series.
I'll bring up one of the hitting stars of the game, Raul Ibanez. Raul with a 3-run home run, his 3rd home run of the year, and his last at bat, coming in the 3rd inning.
Earlier this afternoon, Raul had his son RJ at the ballpark. He was throwing in batting practice out there in the outfield. Raul need a few more U's there. Low and inside for ball 1 on Ibanez. And I tell you what, RJ can swing the bat. I was watching him take batting practice from his dad. He snuck over into the control room, got on the PA mic, did a little play-by-play as he hit one into the seats in right field. He was out in shallow right field with a screen behind him. I think he got a kick out of it.
I'm sure he did.
RJ could hit his 11-year-old son. 1 on, 2 outs, 1 run in here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mariners leading Oakland 6-0. Now with 3 home runs out of the Erie Barnes and 9 runs batted in.
Take a look at the home run from Raul. He gets a changeup out in front of it. It gets the barrel to it, throws his hands at it, and picks up his 3rd home run of the year. But more importantly, he drives in 3 runs for the Mariners with that home run.
Raul's 69th career home run at this ballpark. That home run estimated at 371 feet from home plate. High fly ball right field. Coming in a few steps is Brandon Moss. Underneath it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. Well, the Mariners tack on 1 more, an RBI double by Kendrys Morales, and after 5, it's the Mariners 6 and the A's nothing. 6th inning. Okay, our AT&T trivia question tonight was who hit the most career inside the park home runs? Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, Willie Mays. Here's a look at the fans' vote. And 60% of you agreeing with Mike Lauer, saying that it was the Say Hey kid, Willie Mays.
You went with Babe Ruth.
I went with Babe Ruth. I'm just thinking it's the Bambino. And the answer is it was Babe Ruth with 10 career inside the park home runs. Willie Mays had 6, Barry Bonds 3, Hank Aaron had 1 on this date back in 1967. Babe Ruth, the answer, Mike. I thought Curtis might have something like that.
As soon as you mentioned it, I figured it was Babe Ruth. I knew I was wrong at that point because your thinking was perfect. Trying to get into the mind of Curtis Wilson.
Big ticket. Great question. Derek Norris will lead off the top half of the 6th inning. The machine, Musashi Iwakuma, keeps doing that, throwing first pitch strikes and a lot of strikes. There's a look at Dan Wilson on your right, working with new broadcaster on radio, Aaron Goldsmith. Dan Wilson had an inside the park grand slam home run against the Detroit Tigers. How about that?
Danny's still trying to catch his breath from that one, Ricky.
That's good. I like that, Mike. One of the nicest guys you'll ever want to meet. The guy seated on my left right here, and the guy in the other booth, Dan Wilson. That 95 ball club was just loaded with guys like that. And a swing and a miss by Norris for strike 3, and that is 3 strikeouts in a row for Iwakuma. Strikeout number 6 for Hisashi, and that is 16 in a row. Retired by Iwakuma.
Well, another good breaking ball just off the outside corner. Wow. Do you remember Dan's grand slam home run?
Sure do.
Was it in the Kingdom?
Tigers. It was in the Kingdom. I want to say there goes another K for Iwakuma. Here's the pitch to Eric Sogard. Ball 1 the count. I think it was Bobby Higginson and I can't remember who the center fielder was.
For the Tigers?
Yeah.
Bobby Higginson. I'm going to go with Hunter. Was it Brian Hunter?
Brian Hunter?
Milt Kyler?
No, I think it was Hunter, and they went chasing at the ball in left center field, and they almost collided out there. The ball bounced way back into center field, and Danny just flew around the bases, turned down the Jets, still had some gas left in the tank, and scored. And there was an inside the park.
Did he have to slide?
I think he did. Oh yeah. Danny had to finish it off with a big slide. There he is on your right, Dan the Man Wilson. And that's up high on Sogard. Ball 2, and 2 the count. And I tell you what, that's something to do in the Kingdom.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
Great place to hit.
Left side off to his right. The backhand off the glove of Brendan Ryan. He was shaded toward the bag at second. And Sogard reaches safely here in the top half of the 6th inning.
Well, as you mentioned it, he was playing towards the middle, and he knows that Sogard can run. Gets out of the box in great shape, so the ball comes up a little bit, hits him on the heel of his glove. If he sits back to get a little bigger hop, I think that it's going to be a base hit anyway. So
that is going to be an error charge to Brendan Ryan. That snaps the string of 16 in a row retired by Iwakuma. 1 on, 1 away. A 6-0 Mariner lead here in the top of the 6th. And the batter is John Jaso. Ball 1. During the offseason, Jack Zduriencik was involved in that 3-way trade, the Mariners, the A's, and the Washington Nationals, and that's how Michael Morse became a member of the Mariners, coming over from Washington. Jaso went from the Mariners to Oakland, and from Oakland, A.J. Cole, and there was another player involved in that deal that went to the Nationals. Strike on the outside corner at the knees on Jaso, 1-1 to count. Iwakuma with some ground ball outs in this one, and a strike on Jaso in the count, 1-2.
Does a nice job, Mike, working both sides of the plate, stays down, elevates when he needs to.
Well, when you look at that, the tracer in that box, he will work all four corners of it and changing speeds. It's pretty rare to have a pitcher that will do that. But of course, although this is just his second year in the major leagues, he's a polished pitcher because of the work that he did over in Japan. And some tremendous years over there. So he has a real good idea of what he's doing out there.
He spent 11 years pitching in his native Japan, 4 years with Kintetsu, the Buffaloes, and then 7 years with Rakuten, the Eagles. Little flare into shallow left field down the line, and that's going to drop in, a fair ball. Up with the ball is Ibanez. Down to second goes Sogard, and a single by Jaso. His second base hit tonight. So the Athletics have 2 men on with 1 out here in the top half of the 6th.
And this is a good fastball that ties him up and just fights it off down the line. Hits it in no man's land. Little flare. You can see Ibanez. He was way over in left center field. No chance to make a play. That'll be a base hit for Jaso. So after the error, a little flare, and Iwakuma, one of the few times tonight that he's been in trouble. In fact, it's the first time tonight. This will be the first at bat for the Athletics with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, the first time in Oakland A has got as far as second base. So 2 on, 1 away for Seth Smith. 70 pitches for Iwakuma.
I'm told they changed the error to a hit for Sogard.
So give Sogard a single, no error for Ryan. Fly ball, center field, backing up Saunders. Michael is there, and he's got it for the second out of the inning. Runners from second. Sogard is able to tag and go to third, and Jaso holds at first base. Well, attention all you guys, your hall pass has been granted. Grab the fellas and head to Safeco Field on Friday, May 24th for EQC Guys Night Out, where you can take advantage of a great new ticket special. For only $25, you'll receive a seat in the Terrace Club, a t-shirt, and a drink. A normal $60 value to take part in this great deal on EQC Guys Night Out. Log on to Mariners.com/guys. 2 on and 2 outs. First and third now for the A's. Sogard able to tag and go from second to third. Smith's fly out to Saunders in center. Here's Jed Lowry. Fastball on the outside corner, 0-1.
Lowry having a good year for the A's. Came into the game hitting an even .300. He's been busy tonight at shortstop.
Lowry 0 for 2. Popped up down the line, foul territory, long run Kyle Seager, and he runs out of room. Into the seats out of play, and it's 0-2 on Lowry. Part of the crowd here at Safeco Field, right behind home plate. 25,509 tonight here at the corner of Dave Niehaus Way and Edgar Martinez Drive. How about that for an address, Mike? Pretty good.
I think it's great.
The 0-2. High chopper fouled away on the first base side. Still 0-2 the count. Folks, when you come out to Safeco Field, be sure to visit Dave Niehaus' statue out there and on the concourse out in right center field. There's a lot of folks. Hey, that young fan got a souvenir.
Popular place. People are always out there getting their pictures taken.
1 earned run by Iwakuma in his last 18 and 2/3 innings, Mike. Spectacular. The 0-2 high. Ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'll make a point to go on by and check out Dave Niehaus' statue out there in right center field. He's seated at a desk. His scorebook is opened up to Game 5 of the 1995.
He did a great job with that scorebook too. You can actually read the page.
There he is.
Yeah.
And he writes on the right side of the page, unbelievable. 1-2, low and inside in the dirt, heading down to second. Jaso, he'll make it. And the count is even on Lowry at 2 balls and 2 strikes, but a good stop, Mike, by Montero to keep Sogard over there at third.
Yeah, it'll be a wild pitch to get Jaso down to second base.
So 2 on in scoring position. 2-2 to count on Lowry. 2 outs. Splitter right here.
See Iwakuma. He didn't realize Jaso had moved on to second. He looked over at first and didn't see anybody and stepped off the mound. And what that is, that's concentrating on the hitter.
2-2. Line drive, fair ball down the right field line. That's going to score a couple. Here comes Sogard. Here comes Jaso in at second with a 2-out double. Goes Jed Lowry, and the A's get on the board. Here in the top half of the 6th inning, it's now the Mariners 6 and the Athletics 2.
It's going to be a fastball. He tries to go inside with this fastball. It's the pitch that he likes, to run it in on the inside corner. And tip your hat to Lowry, who's having a good year for the A's. Hit a pretty good pitch right on the corner.
Yeah. Good at bat right there by the Lowry. The extra base hit with 2 on. That'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, and he's flying out to Saunders in center field. 0-1. Mike, hard to picture this guy.
Well, take a look at the Amica hit zone for him, and a lot of red in there.
You got to get it right there in that little blue square.
Well, what you need to do is you need to pitch to him off the plate, and that's where you're going to get him out. He will expand it and swing pitches outside of that hit zone.
Down and away in the dirt. Good stop again by Montero, and the count is now even on Cespedes at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And for last year, we showed this earlier, 544 pitches low and out of the zone. You can see hitting just 123.
Chase that. 2 runs in here in the 6th. Fouled away behind home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. What did Junior's hit zone look like? A lot of red.
Yeah. That's why you saw Sparky Anderson walk him.
Yeah. Another look at our EQC tracker. You don't want to leave anything up in the strike zone to this game.
No, that last pitch was hanging in the middle of the plate.
Swing and a miss, and a splitter down and in for strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Strikeout number 7 for Iwakuma. The A's get a couple. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's the Mariners 6 and the A's 2. Due up, Jesus Montero, Dustin Ackley, followed by Brendan Ryan. As we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning, Oakland with a couple of runs in the top half of this inning. Jesus Montero will lead things off. Dustin Ackley will follow, followed by Brennan Ryan. Montero with that big home run Wednesday afternoon in Pittsburgh. The difference in that ball game, a 2-1 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates.
This will probably be the last inning for Straley, Rick. That last pitch, he's now at 90 pitches for Straley.
Bullpen busy now for the A's. Fouled away the right side by Montero. The count evens on Jesus at 1-1. Got to give this kid some credit, Mike, for hanging in there.
Well, I think that you have to give Bob Melvin some credit. I think he understands he has a young pitcher out there, and he wants to make him work through some challenging situations. Use his pitch count, which is probably right around 100. So Chris Resop getting loose in the bullpen, so I think he'll be probably around 100 pitches, and then Bob will go get him. But Bob is running him out there, hoping that there's some benefit to it as the season moves on. We talk about it all the time, right?
The maturation process.
That and control the damage,
yeah.
and you have to learn how to do those things.
Yeah.
And so, Bob Melvin, the manager for the Athletics, is just letting him go and let him get to his pitch limit.
How to get through some adversity. Fouled out of play down the right field side. 3-2 on Montero. Lou stayed with you, gave you chances.
You benched me a lot too, Rick. It's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel badly about it. Love playing for the man.
It's all part of the process.
Absolutely.
Low ball 4. So Montero on at first base. Now let's check in with Tom Glasgow. Tom.
Rick, thanks from the Ford Sports Desk. Let's give you a preview of what's coming your way this week on Mariners All Access. We'll be taking you down to AAA Tacoma to check in on the Rainiers, learn what top prospect Mike Zunino does that impresses the pitchers so much. Tacoma and Seattle close in distance. So what do the Rainiers know about the Emerald City? We'll find out. All that and more Sunday on Mariners All Access, a brand new edition coming your way noon right here on Root Sports.
Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
The Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. A pitching change for the Athletics here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. There's a look at your score. 6-2 Mariners lead. And Chris Resop will take over in relief from Dan Straley.
Resop has struggled this year. ERA at 6 and 15 innings. Walked 10 batters. Opponent's average at 297. Given up 1 home run this year. 16th appearance on the season, and then For Daniel Straley, it was a struggle for him. 95 pitches, 58 of those strikes, 5+ innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, and he is responsible for Montero, who he walked and put on first base.
Ackley first to face Rysop, who delivers a strike. 0-1. Montero aboard with the 4th walk. The previous 3 have all come around to score. Ackley 0 for 2 on the night. Up shallow left field down the line. Lowry going back into foul territory and leans back, and he makes the catch. So 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
The shortstop,
And the batter is shortstop Brendan Ryan. Mariners got to Straley early, 2 runs in the first, tacked on 3 in the third on that 3-run home run off the bat of Raul Ibanez, and added a run in the 5th on the RBI double by Kendrys Morales. Game 1 of the 3-game series. Hope to see you right here at Safeco Field tomorrow night. Remember, game time is 6:10 tomorrow night. And then Sunday afternoon, the final game of the series and the brief homestand. Outside on Ryan. Ball 1. Enjoy your off day yesterday, buddy?
Oh, yeah. Always. Yeah. Especially this year. There haven't been many of them.
Exactly. Fired up the barbecue last night. Had the grandkids over. Some steaks.
Yeah. Did you burn them?
Nope. Came out very well. Got that Jack seasoning on top. Perfect. Oh, I played a little wiffle ball. Wiffle ball with my grandkids.
How many hits did you get?
I didn't hit. Kids hit all night long.
You didn't want to face Jackson. That's the problem. Throwing you the curve.
We had a blast. 1 on, 1 away. Montero, the runner at first. Got on and missed. 1-2. How do you get through the grind of a 162 game season?
That's the tough part. I think that's the separator for a lot of guys, Rick, that are able to get to this level. And then you have to grind your way through it, and some people can't. They just can't do it on a daily basis. You know, you go through your struggles, as you were talking about with Raul Ibanez earlier. And there's nowhere to hide because this is every day.
Sogard over to Lowry on to first. Double play. 4-6-3. They get Montero at second and double up Ryan at first base. That will end the inning. We go to the top half of the 7th tonight here at Safeco Field. 6-2 Mariners lead. 2 as we make our way to the top half of inning number 7. Hisashi Iwakuma has been outstanding tonight. Oakland getting to Iwakuma for a couple of runs on that 2-run double by Jed Lowry in the top half of the 6th inning. Here are the numbers for him so far. The 2 runs on 4 hits. Look at that. No walks and 7 strikeouts along the way, Mike.
Well, again, for Iwakuma, he's efficient with his pitches, and one way to do that, Rick, is to keep guys off of first base and not walk them. And you look at his strikeouts and his walks this year. Impressive to say. It's impressive to say the least. He's really done an excellent job again.
Sashi with his fans, and he has many of them here at Safeco Field every time he pitches.
I know I'm one of them.
Me too.
He's fun to watch.
Brandon Moss leading things off here in the 7th with ball 1. 6 innings. He's let the leadoff batter aboard just one time. That was John Jaso, who led off the top of the 1st inning with a base hit to right field. Moss 0 for 2. Strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Right there, the inside corner. Mike, it seems like the times that Iwakuma falls behind in the count, 2-0, 3-1, he comes back with a strike. Ground ball foul up the first base line.
And the thing and it's another reason why he's difficult. He doesn't come back with a fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
He may throw a slow breaking ball in there, get his slider over, or take some off of his fastball, a little BP fastball, try to get the hitter out in front and roll over on it.
Works with a great pace, great rhythm, keeps his defense in the ball game. I know you appreciate that. As a third baseman, anytime a guy threw strikes and kept you in the game.
Well, and I think another thing that he realizes, Rick, is he has one of the best defenses in Major League Baseball behind him. Keep him active, give him a chance to make some plays. It'll all work out for you.
And they'll make it. Mariners right now a .991 fielding percentage, tied for first in the American League, and a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that is strikeout number 8 for Iwakuma. 1 out for the A's here in the top half of the 7th inning. Well, let's take a look at our Head and Shoulders pitch sequence.
And this is earlier in the game to Derek Barton. And you want to talk about making quick work of somebody. Here's a good fastball, 92 miles an hour. Gets strike 1. And now there's a little breaking ball. That was a slider at 82. And why not a split to put him away at 86 miles an hour? Bye. And I think that the key to all of that, Rick, is he typically will start guys off with a variety of pitches, but he usually throws them on the corner. And the thing that you noticed on that was that fastball at 92 miles an hour was right down the middle. And you know why? Because it was Derek Barton, and he knows from watching him that Barton usually takes a strike. So he took the strike. Thank you very much. And then he went to work on it.
That's a scouting report before ball game, and a breaking ball for a strike on Donaldson, and the count is 0-2. Machine.
I like it. I think it's going to stick, Rick.
Fouled away off to the left side of home plate, and the count's 0-2. I mean, very workmanlike.
He's a strike throwing machine is what he is.
Well-oiled machine, just comes right after the hitters. 8 strikeouts, so another K in Iwakuma. The 0-2. It's a little bit low, 1-2. Donaldson, a patient hitter, has 18 walks. That's 9th best in the American League. Foul ball behind the bag at third, backhanded by Seager. Toss across in time to get Donaldson, and there's 2 outs for the A's. Here at the top of the 7th inning, let's check in with Tom Glasgow. Tom.
All right, Rick, from the Forward Sports Desk. When this series ends for the Mariners, it's back east to take on the Yankees, who are in Kansas City tonight. This ball game was tied in the 6th, but that's when the Yanks broke it wide open. Centralia's Lyle Overbay gets it started. His double off the wall will score. Ichiro Overbay finishes with 5 runs batted in, and the Yankees win it 11-6. Back to Rick and Mike.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Look at that three-way tie starting play tonight in the American League East. Yankees, Baltimore, and the Boston Red Sox.
It's a big day for Lyle Overbay. 5 RBIs. He's found a home.
How about that? Lyle from Centralia. 0-1 on Derek Barton. Breaking ball, a strike, and the count is 0-2. Oliver Perez getting ready down to the bullpen.
Well, we just showed you the pitch sequence, and here he is in the same situation where he's 0-2. See if he goes back to the split. Tries to get the strikeout again, and he will.
Splitter. Got him.
Same pitch, same location.
9 strikeouts for Hisashi Iwakuma. Another 1-2-3 inning for Iwakuma. This one in the top of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time after 6.5. Mariners 6 and the A's 2. Brought to you by Washington's Lottery. What happens when you combine trucks with bucks? You get an amazing second chance scratch game, win a new truck, or one of 6 $10,000 cash prizes. Play the Trucks and Bucks second chance scratch drawing from Washington's Lottery today. Visit WALottery.com for details. Nice crowd out there in the pen. 25,000 plus tonight here at Safeco Field watching Hisashi Iwakuma dazzled tonight in game 1 of this 3-game series, Mike, against the Oakland A's. And there's a look at the Mariners 1-2 punch. There's Felix Hernandez, who has the best ERA in the American League, and then Iwakuma right behind him.
And it looks like his night is going to be done. 7 innings tonight. Oliver Perez getting loose in the Mariner bullpen, so I would assume that Iwakuma is finished. Another outstanding outing for him.
Tremendous. There's Anthony Suzuki, his interpreter, talking with Jesus Montero. Nice job by Montero tonight, working with Iwakuma. Michael Saunders leading off the bottom of the 7th inning and takes ball 1. Saunders looking for his first base hit tonight, but Mikey's done a great job in that leadoff spot. You and I got to talking about great leadoff hitters down through the years, different eras. There's been so many. Popped up right side of the infield. Coming up is Sogard, the second baseman. He's there and makes the catch, and there's one away. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Sterling Bank, nobody works harder for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Pizza Hut, make it great. Rick Riz along with Mike Glowers, associate director up here in the booth, Robbie Nielsen, and you on a beautiful night, Friday night here in Seattle. 1 out, nobody on, brings up third baseman Kyle Seager. And Mike had made a
Ricky Henderson.
Made a list of some of the great leadoff hitters down through the years, and it starts with that guy. He's the best ever.
He's the best ever. Former teammate of mine, former Mariner.
I just jotted down a few names. Here we go. Ricky Henderson at the top of the list. Tim Raines, Bert Campaneris, Maury Wells, Lou Bryant, Devon White, Gary Pettis, Louis Aparicio, my hero, Pete Rose, Derek Jeter, Willie Wilson, Otis Nixon, Vince Coleman, Matty Alou, Kurt Flood, Willie McGee, Bobby Richardson, Harold Reynolds, Davey Lopes, Zola Visayas, Tony Fernandez, Barry Larkin, Ozzie Smith, Lenny Dykstra, Brett Butler, Jackie Robinson, Rod Carew, Kenny Lofton, Paul Blair, and Cool Papa Bell. I had to throw Cool Papa in. He had to be a leadoff guy. In the great Negro Leagues.
Not Kenny Lofton.
Got him on my list.
Pete Rose.
Got him on my list.
Nope.
Yes, I do.
Paul Molitor's on the list.
I missed Molitor.
I just wanted to get one.
I had Lofton here. I had Rose. Paul Molitor. Little flare. Shallow left field. Base hit. Seager the turn. Wide turn. And the throw gets into second by Lowry. And that'll get Seager back to the bag. Kyle Seager on for the 4th time tonight with his second hit. He has walked twice.
Well, he thought about it as a hitter. This is a beautiful thing. A little jam shot down the line. You can tell right now he knows that ball has some English on it. It's going to run away from the shortstop. Good turn. About halfway. He has to dive back in.
A couple of interesting hits for him tonight. He had that cue shot off the end of the bat to the shortstop, Lowry, for the base hit back in the 3rd. Well, what do you think of that list of leadoff guys? Here's Kendrys Morales.
Well, obviously would think it's better if you had Paul Molitor on it. What about Roberto Alomar? You forgot him.
Yeah, I forgot. I was thinking about that. He's a leadoff guy. Spent a lot of time in the number 2 spot too, didn't he?
Well, he did.
I don't remember He's a leadoff guy. Yeah, I got to put Alomar in there. Okay. Didn't mention every guy.
Richie Ashburn.
I had. I wrote him down, but I didn't say his name. On a play down the left field side, and the count is 0-2 on Morales.
I had a lot of help from Chris Taylor on that, by the way.
Oh, here he is. I got him right here.
You just wrote that down.
Richie, no, he didn't. Phil Rizzuto, I forgot those 2 guys down there.
The Scooter.
Phil Rizzuto.
I think what we're going to see, and the Mariners have a good one in Saunders, but I think what we're going to see, Rick, over the next 4 or 5 years is a greater emphasis on those guys again. More teams are going to be looking for those types of guys.
Guys that get on base,
cause
speed,
problems,
walked, good on base percentage,
steal your run. I think the game is heading in that direction again.
More the Maury Wills type of guy.
Yeah.
Louis Aparicio. All the time shortstop.
And all the better if you have one that's like Michael Saunders who can steal some bases and hit for some power.
And he can do both.
That's a rare thing.
Yeah. There he is. Michael Saunders has done a great job in that leadoff spot on the DL for 15 days.
Guys in the truck have done their work. I said you forgot Brett Butler.
Did not forget him. I said him. Oh, Brett Butler right there. Right there.
Good try, guys.
Inside, and that hits Morales off his right leg. Held by Rhys-Hopp. So Morales hit by a pitch on at first base. Down to second goes Kyle Seager. 2 on with 1 out. Ouch.
Oh, it's a fastball, the worst kind of pitch to get hit. Right above the knee, it looks like, off the quad. Guys are working hard. How about Brady Anderson, Johnny Damon?
Forgot Brady. Jimmy Rollins. Here's Michael Morse. 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the bottom of the 1st inning. That started the Mariners scoring tonight. Mariners got 2 in that 1st. A lot of great leadoff guys down through the years. I thought you'd be impressed with Cool Papa Bell. From the old Negro Leagues. Played for the, I think the St. Louis Ball Club.
Well, Rick, you consistently impress me, so it takes a lot. About Alfonso Soriano.
There you go. I like that. Steals some bases and hit with power.
In games where he has been the leadoff hitter, and obviously these aren't leading off games, but 197 home runs as a leadoff hitter for Alfonso Soriano.
Ricky Henderson, more leadoff home runs than anybody. Inside, check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. He took the bat with him, says first base umpire Alfonso Marquez, and it's 0-2 on Morris.
Well, that pitch was so far inside it almost hit him. You can see how much it tied him up.
He was trying to get his hands out of the way. He took the bat with him. And the last thing you want to do is get hit in the hand again. I mean, he suffered that broken little finger about 3 weeks ago.
You don't want to see that.
Oh, no. And to his credit, he was out for only 3 days, but he wasn't 100% healed, obviously. And he struggled right after that. It showed, but he played. He hung in there with Goody on the DL, Saunders on the DL. Strike 3 called on Morris, so 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, friends, just like King Felix, you'll raise your hands and give a shout for the next Mariners bobblehead Saturday, May 25th. It's Felix Hernandez perfect game bobblehead night when the first 20,000 fans will score this collectible that captures the Mariners ace's iconic Felixing pose. Grab a piece of history and then shake it when you get tickets to Felix bobblehead night at Mariners.com. That Felixing pose where he put his hands in the air, raised his leg, and it looked like a K. Felix Hernandez, the Mariners' first perfect game in Mariner history, August 15th last year against Tampa Bay. Justin Smoak with a strike, 0-1. 23rd perfect game in Major League history, and the 3rd perfect game. There were 3 last year. Matt Cain against Houston, Felix's perfect game, and Philip Humber, April 21st. He was with the White Sox against the Mariners. Smoak 1 for 2, an RBI double, and he takes outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Justin with a double down his last 4 games at Safeco Field. Off the first base line, foul, and behind Mike Brumley, and the count is now 1-2 on Smoak. Third player to double in 4 straight games at Safeco Field. Ichiro and Michael Morris.
Really?
Two on, 2 outs. Mariners tried to add on to that 4-run advantage.
Think of that perfect game. You think about 23 perfect games, right?
That's it.
And 2 of the 3 last year involving the Mariners here in this ballpark.
Yeah. Pretty interesting, huh? And how about this to think about? Also last year in June, 6 Mariner pitchers combined to throw a no-hitter against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And that's more rare than a perfect game.
23 perfect games. Last year there were 3 of them out of the 23. 2 of them here in this ballpark. And I missed both of them.
And there
I
was
missed 6 games. I missed 2 of them.
And on the opposite side of that, there was the kid. Here's a fly ball into center field. Cespedes going back near the warning track, and he's there to make the catch, and that'll end the inning. And then there was the one kid who came out to only 2 games last year, and they were both the perfect games. No runs, a hit, 2 left on. We go to the top of the 8th. Mariners lead Oakland 6-2. welcome back as we go to the top half of the 8th inning tonight here at Safeco Field. The Mariners leading the A's by a score of 6-2. Mike, what a job by Hisashi Iwakuma tonight.
Again, 7 innings, 4 hits, just 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. No walks, 9 strikeouts for Iwakuma through 95 pitches, 68 strikes. And Rick, typically when you throw a line out like that, your ERA is going to go down. His actually went up to a 1.74.
That's how good it was.
That's how good he is.
Before coming into the ballgame.
Oliver Perez has pitched great this year. ERA 0.73 for him. 12 strikeouts in the 12 and a third that he has pitched. Really done a great job coming out of the pen for the Mariners.
Derek Norris to lead things off for the A's, and he takes down and in ball 1.
Andy Chavez takes over in left field for Raul Ibanez. Good night for Raul, 1 for 3, but it was a 3-run home run for Raul.
3rd home run of the year. That gave the Mariners at that point in the game in the 3rd a 5-0 lead. Fly ball left center field, well hit. Saunders going back, and this one is gone. Goodbye baseball. Derek Norris with a leadoff home run here with the top half of the 8th inning. His first home run of the season. It's now the Mariners 6 and the Athletics 3 as he greets Perez in the ball game with a home run out to the left center field landing. Middle in, little up, and Norris got it out.
He was having a tough night, a couple of strikeouts, but he hits this home run out into the pen.
And the A's have their 3rd run of the night. And here is Eric Sogard. Oh, this is Rosales, Adam Rosales pinch hitting. Rosales with a strike going 1. So this is Rosales. It was Rosales that hit that home run over that tall wall in left field in Cleveland a couple of nights ago. That wasn't ruled a home run by the umpires after they took a look at the videos. You take a look at Carter Capps warming up down to the bullpen. Breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-2 on Rosales. Batting .318, 1 home run, and 3 runs batted in, and that turned out to be a big break for the A's because that would have tied the score late in the game. And then the A's lost yesterday to Cleveland. Early afternoon game, 9-2. They were swept by the Indians in that 4-game series. Breaking ball down and in, knocking it down is Montero for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Athletics reeling a little bit right now. They've lost 4 in a row, 6 of their last 10. They played great against the West. They're 13-3 against the West, 5-15 against the rest of the league. Swing and a miss by Rosales. Strike 3. Perez with a strikeout, 1 away for the A's here in the top half of the 8th.
Perez just elevates a fastball 92 miles an hour up off the plate. Gets him to chase it.
Tell you what, since he's been a reliever, I mean, working out of the bullpen, his velocity is up there.
Well, that last pitch was 92, but we've seen him consistently in that 95 mile an hour range, Rick. So you're right.
I was talking to him about that a few weeks ago. Way inside and behind Jaso, all the way to the backstop.
That was with a breaking ball. It just slipped out of his hand. Only 76 miles an hour.
Yeah. And Jaso had time to get out of the way.
But anyway, you were talking to him a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, and he said, you know, as a starter, you have to pace yourself a little bit. But he said since he's been down in the bullpen, I get a chance to just throw my fastball, my slider. And he says my velocity's been better on my fastball.
And it has. We saw it right away last year when he came up, when they called him up. I think we were in Arizona. But I noticed 95, 96, and it's typically where he's at. Tonight he's more 92, 93, but
that was at 93 for a strike, and it's 2-1 on Jaso. Strike on the outside corner. Another fastball. 2-2. One run in here in the 8th inning on the leadoff home run by Norris. Mariners lead 6-3. We were in Pittsburgh a couple of days ago. I was talking with Jason Bay. Swing and a miss by Jaso. Steer right 3. So after the home run, Perez comes right back and strikes out the next 2 hitters. So 2 outs for Oakland here in the top half of the 8th. Friends, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. They was talking about how he was traded away by the Padres back before the 2003 season and had some good years in Pittsburgh. Oliver was also involved in that trade. Going with Bay from San Diego to Pittsburgh.
Well, and to your point, Curtis just giving me some numbers on him. In 2009, he averaged 89 miles an hour. In 2010, the same. Since then, 93.
Yeah. Velocity's gone up. Working out of the bullpen. Seth Smith, the hitter, 1-0 to count. Fouls it away. 1-1 now on Smith, who's 0 for 3. Has flied out twice, and he's also grounded out to Dustin Ackley at second base. Mariners have won 8 of their last 12. Oakland get off to that good start this year at 12-4. Down and away ball 2, 2-1. But since then the A's have gone 6-14 over the last 20 games. But they've got some key players on the DL as you take a look at our EQC tracker. Tracer as it Perez is trying to dot that outside corner at the knees. Slider in there for a strike. 2-2 on Smith.
I think the other thing that we've seen from him is he just seems much more aggressive. Just going right at guys.
Especially after giving up that home run to Norris.
Didn't phase him at all. A couple of strikeouts.
And now he's 2-2 on Smith. Swing and a miss at that sweeping slider, and he ends up striking out the side after the home run to Norris. So that is it for Oakland in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Our score: Mariners 6, the A's 3. Let's take a look at the Columbia Bank difference of the game. No doubt about it. Hisashi Iwakuma. Mike.
I would agree. The A's come in struggling, losing 4 in a row. Iwakuma gets an early lead, and from there he just goes to work. Had all of his pitches again. A lot of strikes out of Iwakuma, consistently working ahead, putting him away with a good split right there. That's a nice slider to the right-hander. Another split. And another slider to the righty. So he was really on top of his game. Was able to elevate his fastball at times when he wanted to.
Well, we've seen it all year from him, and he was really good again tonight. It's quite a 1-2 punch for the Mariners, having Felix at the top of the rotation and Kuma pitching second behind him.
Very nice watching those two guys all season long. New left fielder Raul Ibanez will lead things off against a new pitcher. Right-hander Jesse Chavez takes over in relief, 29 years of age. Inside on Chavez. Ball one. Chavez, his first appearance of the year with a big club. He spent 4 games with Oakland last year, 9 games with Toronto. Popped up, and this one is going to be out of play beyond the reach of third baseman Josh Donaldson, and the count is even on Chavez at 1-1. So Chavez with his first appearance of the season. He originally came up with the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 2008. With Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Kansas City, with the Royals in 2010 and 11. Last year with the Blue Jays and the A's. Bottom of the 8th, 6-3 Mariners. Strike 2 on Chavez. And Endy made a great diving catch, Mike, a couple of days ago in
Line
Pittsburgh.
drive right at him.
Tough play.
Had a great break on the ball. And I think that's the toughest play for them when you have to dive straight in.
What a job he's done. Mariners picked him up at the end of spring training. Wow.
He's done a good job for him. He's hitting .297 coming into this at bat.
Started off the year briefly down at AAA Tacoma. Hit .429. Ground ball left side. Cutting off in front of the shortstop is Donaldson, and his throw to first in time to get Chavez. One out for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th. Let's check in with Tom.
All right, Rick, from the Ford Sports Desk, let's take a peek at what's coming your way on the mound for the middle game of this 3-game series between the M's and the A's. Got a couple of right-handers who are certainly trying to get things figured out. Jared Parker, Brandon Maurer just not clicking the way they would like to. One of these guys hopes to get it dialed in tomorrow. They both do, but we know which one we're pulling for, guys.
All right, Tom. And here is Jesus Montero. He takes a look at ball 1. Maurer, rough time. His last time out against Baltimore, that was 10 days ago here at home. But he's pitched well against Texas twice and the Angels. Helped shut out the Angels 6-0 in April the 25th. Like, he walked only 1 and he struck out 6.
He has good stuff, Rick. He has everything you need to pitch here. And he's just a young player. He's going to be inconsistent at times as Montero pops this ball up, and basket catch out there in right field by Moss.
Brandon Moss comes in to make the catch right in behind new second baseman Adam Rosales, who was going out on the play. Stayed with it until he was called off by Moss. So 2 outs for the Mariners now here in the bottom of the 8th inning as you take a look at Tom Wilhelmsen getting ready down to the bullpen.
He has been something this year.
Tom, terrific. Dustin Ackley with a strike 0-1. Save number 9 a couple of days ago for Tom against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Enjoyed a brief stay in Pittsburgh. Broken bat bouncer to the right side, taken by Barton. Little flip to the pitcher. Chavez covering on the play in time to get Ackley, and that will retire the side, and we go to the top half of the 9th inning tonight. Last try for the A's. Our score: the Mariners 6 and the Athletics 3, and here comes Tom.
Field. Tom Glasgow with you from the Ford Sports Desk. Stick around on Mariners postgame. We'll break down another terrific start by Hisashi Iwakuma. We'll talk a little football too. Seahawks rookies on the field for the first time, and Jen Mueller with Mariners reaction from the clubhouse. All that and more on Mariners postgame coming up. Back to Rick and Mike.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. And we go to the top half of the ninth inning. That means Tom Wilhelmsen on the mound. He's been outstanding, Mike.
He has been. Look at the ERA, 0.60 for Tom. 9 saves out of 9 chances for him. Opponents average just 100. And Rick, right-handers have not had a hit off of him this year. 0 for 25 against Tom Wilhelmsen.
That's unbelievable. Not one hit.
Not one hit.
Incredible.
And this is a save opportunity for him, 6-3, so you get a chance to add to a save total.
Looking for number 10 and trying to give Hisashi Iwakuma his 4th win of the year. He needs the 3 outs here in the top of the 9th. Jed Lowry, Yoenis Cespedes, and Brandon Moss to hit for the A's. And that's what he does, throws strikes. A lot of first pitch strikes.
Why not? He throws 96, 97 miles an hour. Use the good fastball, eventually go to the curve. I like the fact that he's coming up with that changeup now for left-handers.
And that has so much movement away from the left-handed hitter.
And there it is, 90 miles an hour, 90-mile-an-hour changeup.
Pretty interesting. 1-1 the count. It was Lowry that knocked in the A's first 2 runs with a double with 2 outs back in the 6th inning. Popped up outside of third. Seager to take a look, and this one is well out of play, and it's 1-2 on Lowry. Tom has that big 12-6 Uncle Charlie, that big curveball. Go along with that fastball, 96-98. Yeah, curveball. You're thinking the point of contact where you got to hit that thing. Tom out of Tucson, Arizona. The 1-2. Ground ball right side. Dustin Ackley is right there, and 1 away for the Athletics here in the top half of the 9th inning. Let's take a look at our Money Tree in time play. Raul Ibanez, Mike.
And his 3rd home run of the year. Hits a changeup into the seats in right field. That's a 3-run home run for the Mariners.
And how sweet it is for Raul, struggling over the last few weeks to drive that one out of the ballpark, and he will get it turned around and in the right direction.
I think he already has, Rick. He had a pinch hit double in Pittsburgh to drive in a run, and then he comes back with a home run today in a game that he gets to start. So I think things are better for him.
Up and away on Cespedes for ball 1. 3rd time around for Ibanez with the Mariners. Same thing for you, Mike. 3 times with this organization. Look at those numbers, Mike, that you mentioned against the right-handed hitters.
0 for 25.
That's unbelievable. Fastball. 1-1 on Cespedes, who has fanned twice, and he's also flied out to Saunders in center field. Iwakuma got him a couple of times. Another ground ball out to Ackley at second base, and Cespedes is out, number 2, here in the top of the 9th inning. Mariners 1 out away from their 17th win of the year as they try to get to that 500 mark. Oakland came in at 500 at 18-18. And the Mariners try to hand the Athletics their 5th consecutive loss, and now 25,000 plus on their feet here at Safeco Field. Brandon Moss, the hitter, he's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Iwakuma had 9 in his 7 innings of work. Fastball just outside. Ball 1. Iwakuma earlier this year beat Oakland in Oakland at the start of the year on April the 2nd. That was game 2. He won that ball game by a score of 7-1. Ground ball to Ackley one more time. He's got it to throw to first, and it's over. The Mariners win it 6-3 over the Oakland A's.
Brandon Moss, the final out of the ball game. Hisashi Iwakuma, outstanding. His 4th win of the season. Tom Wilhelmsen will pick up save number 10. So Kyle Seager with a big night. 2 hits, and he scored 3 times. Raleigh Banez with a big 3-run home run. Mariners win at 6-3. Back with a whole lot more after these messages.